We'd love to have a deep run from our Canadians. It was not meant to be between Denis Shapovalov, who lost to a qualifier in a match that I really thought he was going to have the upper hand in, and then Felix Auger-Aliassime, for the third time in the last 4 Grand Slam tournaments, has let a 2-set-to-love lead slip away. This is really concerning for me. How do you feel about that, Ben?
I think it's a pure crisis of confidence, and now I believe this is 5 times in his Grand Slam history that he's coughed up a 2 sets to love lead. Maybe a little context here that, one of them was Daniil Medvedev, who's obviously a fantastic player, and that was at the Australian Open, I think, in 2022. He coughed up a 2 love sets lead, I think, to Zverev at one time as well. So, a couple strong players, and then to lose to a player who you think, how can he not finish this guy off? And Matteo Arnaldi, who, okay, he's a pretty good clay court player. He did beat Novak Djokovic in the lead up, but it was a match that Felix had complete control of. It was a match that he was dictating off his racket, commanding things with the forehand, serving well. And to kind of let these leads slip away, it tells me that this is a belief thing and something between the ears, and I've called for it a few times, and it's, again, like, it's not personal to Frédéric Fontang, his coach, who obviously they've done great things together. They've accomplished amazing things together. They brought him to world number 6. He's been there for all of his singles titles. At what point, where we look over at like a Holger Rune who changes coaches every 4 months, Felix Felix's allegiance here to his current coach or the coaching team, like, and you're having so many flops at Grand Slams. I really think it's time for a new voice in the room, and we see it. We talk about it, Mike, in pro sports, how often a new voice in the room can galvanize a team. I think it could galvanize an athlete like Felix, who clearly has the talent to be a top 10 player. And yet we got to clean up these flops that continue to happen at the Grand Slam level.
Yeah, you and I have been talking about this for some time, really honestly, and at some point it's going to happen. It's bound to happen. No coach lasts forever. And as you mentioned in team sports, I mean, look right now in the NHL, how many new coaching vacancies there've been, something like 7 or 8 head coaching vacancies. Now, the difference between a team sport and an individual sport like tennis is in a team sport, it's the general manager who's making that call, not the players who are saying, "Hey, we need a new voice." It's maybe a little tougher in tennis, especially when it's someone that you've grown up with, literally grown up with,
Mhm.
helping you, and maybe you need that consistency, and you use that as a crutch, and you need the emotional support. Maybe you've built up such a personal relationship that you find it just super awkward to have that conversation. And God, Felix is one of the nicest guys out there. I feel so bad even saying anything that comes across as critical. And Felix, if you're listening, je m'excuse, I'm sorry, because we really truly love you. But it just seems from an outsider's perspective that it's a no-brainer that this has to happen. And not just a new coach, but maybe, a someone to help with the mental side of the game as well. And we've seen more and more players bring in sort of that type of person on their coaching staff as well. It is troubling when it seems to be happening so regularly now.
Yeah. Do you know the last time Felix Auger-Aliassime was in the quarterfinals of a Grand Slam?
I want to guess summer of 2021.
Well, Australia 2022. But you think, okay, so we've had how many slams go by? 8, 11, 13 slams have now gone by without Felix Auger-Aliassime reaching a quarterfinal, which is really troubling considering 2021, he made 2, and then the start of 2022, he made the quarters of the Australian Open. So this is a startling downward trend that needs to be fixed. Let's wrap just quickly. Gabriel Diallo, big time opening round win over Francisco Cerundolo. When we saw this draw come out, we thought like, oh, really tough draw for Diallo, who is getting a great opportunity, obviously, to be in the main draw of the French Open because last year he had to come through qualifying. I thought the road was going to end right away. So for him to overcome someone like Cerundolo, who did look a little flat, that is a huge win. And leading into the grass court season, where I think he's going to be even more dangerous, Diallo, closing in on the top 50 right now.
I think it's great, the upward trajectory that he's shown us. I also absolutely love the fact that him and Mboko are 2 younger or less experienced players were the ones that had, the biggest moments in terms of
Yep.
quality of player and length of the run in Paris. Great to have it happen on clay because, as you mentioned, on grass with his game, I think he's just going to be, a potential terror. Maybe not this stage of his career. It does take younger players a little longer to get used to the grass, but he's got all the tools for it and the hard court swing as well. So lots of positive news for Canada. Yeah, we want more at the slams. We want to see another Bianca Andreescu type run. I fully believe we're going to get another one of those out of one of our young players, still young players. But yeah, moving forward, keep an eye on both Diallo and Mboko.
Thank you guys so much for watching us at Matchpoint Canada. If you like our work, follow along, hit the subscribe button below.